running, both feel we're living worlds apart. It's fucked now, we lost in limbo. Remembering what you said though, and I asked you if we'd make it far. That one last kiss that they write about, my one last wish you could never doubt. I trust angels who fly away from you, and you told me that we'd never die. Gave me so many reasons why we were meant to be. Then she said no, 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 no. No, 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 you should. I've earned the cost and now I've paid it. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, please don't go. I know my face a memory erasing. Been a few years since I heard your voice, yeah. Lost a few here, but it's not by choice, no. Girl, I see your face every day when I look through my phone. Can't delete all these memories, won't leave me alone. Hit my blind side, never saw you coming. You were so wild, both know I was nothing. And I'm nothing now, nothing's changed. You know I'm just the same. Miss you now, but I hope that someday you explain. That one last kiss that they write about, my one last wish you could never doubt. I trust angels who fly away from you, and you told me that we'd never die. Gave me so many reasons why we were meant to be.
Hi guys. Oh, there's a background. Hold on, let me fix this. Hi, I'm in a field of flowers. How's everyone doing? Thank you so much for joining me while you are entering. If you don't mind hitting the thumbs up button, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, News Nation has just put out that allegedly Bryan Kohberger started on the third floor. What we are about to show is disturbing, and a trigger warning is a must, because these are lives, these are human beings, these are not just stories, these are absolute human beings who had a life excuse me, who had a life, who has a family. And so pardon me. So what I'm about to show you, so trigger warning in advance. It is, they're saying that how this allegedly happened, how allegedly Bryan started on the third floor, worked his way down. And to me, we're going to talk about this after these videos. It shows, in my opinion, how with the other two survivors in there, how it makes it more feasible for them, the way Bryan took the entryway all the way down and then out. It makes it more clear, at least in my head. I want to know your thoughts about what you think after you hear this video. So let me know. Trigger warning, mods, please put a trigger warning there. This is talking about some really heavy stuff. So here we go.
And welcome to this Thursday edition of Banfield. I want to begin with some breaking news on the Idaho murder case. A couple of sources with knowledge of the investigation have told News Nation some details that up until now we did not know. Let me lay a few of these details out, but I do want to warn you that this is graphic information and it is uncomfortable to hear this because we're talking about innocent kids who were killed in that home back in October. And not only that, this is evidence that likely will come out in court at some point. Whether it will be germane to who the killer is or not, that remains to be seen. But it could be evidence nonetheless. With that in mind, let me let you know what these sources have told News Nation. Number one, they told us that the victims, Kaylee Gonzalez and Madison Mogan, were killed first, and they confirmed that Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodle were killed on the second floor afterwards. And these are some of the other details that they have released. They said that Ethan Chapin was killed in the doorway of Xana Kernodle's room before the killer set upon Xana. The sources say that it appeared Ethan had stepped partly into the hallway where the attack may have begun. These sources also say that Ethan Chapin suffered a slash to the neck. But I have to say that both of these details are in direct conflict with what the coroner had originally told us right here on this program exclusively. And also, they conflict directly with what police have said as well. And those two facts that are in conflict are that all of the victims were in their beds, according to police and the coroner. According to the coroner, all of the injuries were stab wounds and not slash wounds. So I just want to play for you exactly what it was the coroner said in her words. Were any of them slashed? Were any of their necks cut? Or were these all puncture wounds?
Well, it was a pretty large knife, so it's really hard to call them puncture wounds. And they were definitely stabbings.
Can you tell me, when you say that they might have been sleeping, were they found in beds?
Yes.
So those were the facts that the coroner told us. And like I said, it is in direct conflict with what these two sources familiar with the investigation are now telling us as well. That obviously needs to be sorted out and likely best in a court of law as well. Also want to tell you these other details that we have learned from these two sources, that Xana Kernodle put up a fierce fight when the attacker set upon her, repeatedly grabbing the attacker's knife, so much so that she sustained deep cuts to her fingers and that her fingers were nearly severed. Now, that does actually work in comport with what Xana's father had reported to an Arizona news outlet about what he knew. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find.
So that is heavy, really heavy stuff. And I literally jumped when Ashley said that, to be quite honest. I don't know if you've seen it, but I can't imagine. I can't imagine the fear. It's really, really heavy. Now, so what we are allegedly learning, this is alleged. Do we believe this, or do we believe the coroner who says they were in their bed? Now, God, I don't know. I know, Ghost. It's really terrible. But if Bryan would have started on the third floor and he, killed the girls on the third floor, and then he goes down, she thought, she was playing, with the dog upstairs, and then she comes down, or Bryan comes down, and he goes to Xana and Ethan's room, and then he just runs out. That makes, more sense, in my mind at least. But, the coroner probably just said yes because revealed too much. I mean, it's potential, but also, they may have not. We have to understand this was before Bryan was captured, so they may have, not wanted to actually, give too much out, and she just said something. I don't know. But it is incredibly sad. We have another video that I do want. Oh, maybe I think I have another video. Hold on 1 second. Maybe.
Public defender and
Okay. I think this is it. 2 seconds, guys. Apologize. I mean, this is really, really troubling. That one's not yet.
Phil, I want to begin with
Okay,
you.
here we go. Let me just pop this one up. So, trigger warning on this. They're going to be talking about some gruesome things.
This new information that is coming to us from sources close to the investigation, it really does fly in the face of what the coroner had reported earlier. Is it possible that both things can be true at the same time, what the coroner said and what these sources have said?
Well, good to be back with you, Ashley. Yes, the short answer is yes. When I listened to what the coroner shared, those are very, very general terms, very general comments. So, and now we're talking about specifics. So, yes, in the big picture of things, both of those statements are going to be accurate.
And then the notion that Ethan may have made his way partially out into the hallway. Is it possible that maybe the attack began there, but then ended in the bed? And forensically speaking, and I'll get Joseph Scott Morgan to add to this in a moment, they would be able to tell, the murder investigators would be able to tell?
I think so. I had talked about this before, that it's certainly possible that the evildoer, I will not say his name, did not know about Ethan being present in the house. So he is going to be kind of like a Ron Goldman, Nicole Brown situation, where he is collateral damage. He has to address the fact that he has an unknown present in front of him. So I don't think that he is, when he gets to Ethan and makes that attack, it is certainly possible that he falls back into the bedroom, onto the bed, and then Xana at that point understands that there's something going on. She may already be awake, as Ethan is, and then once he has taken care of Ethan, then he goes after Xana, and she is awake and aware, which gives her the ability to put up a heck of a fight. And unfortunately, of course, it turned out the way it did. So I would say that if the information that you've received is correct, is accurate, that it certainly falls in line with what we were told in very general terms at the beginning of this, and then what the evidence, as far as I was concerned, had led me to speculate on. So yes.
So Joseph Scott Morgan, I was trying to be as tender as possible with the coroner in asking the nature of this is before we ever knew anything about the nature of the stabbings. And I asked if any of the victims had been slashed. And she seemed to be very clear that these were all stab wounds. But these sources are saying that, Ethan had been slashed, that his neck had been slashed, and that was the original injury he received. I guess the same question for you. Can those two things still be true? Can a coroner consider a slash a stab?
If her assessment was made merely by what she saw at the scene, I'd say, yeah, they could be true. Those two things could be true.
Well, I'll stop you right there. I asked her that. I said, were you present for the autopsies? And she said yes.
No, I said at the scene. If she made that assessment at the scene, just to be very blunt with you, these injuries are going to be encrusted with blood. It's hard to make that assessment at the scene. However, if she went to the post, this would have been easily visualized at that point in time. And not only is the injury to the neck a slash, allegedly, according to this person, but these injuries that you're talking about on the hands, these are going to be incised wounds as well. Not necessarily slashes, but this is as a result of grabbing hold of the blade and pulling it through the hand. These are not stab wounds. I can tell you that definitively based upon my experience. So yeah, there probably are some stab wounds, but that information is, you need more clarity here as to what she's saying. And that's, I guess at the end of the day, it's not really the point. I would draw into question what kind of exam was conducted on site at the scene. I've always wondered, when did she actually get access to the bodies, and how much exposure did she have to the remains that she would have had to have traveled to Spokane to view those posts, because that's where they were done.
Well, I'll tell you what, I did ask because I know that so much of the reports come in from not only the scene and the logistics of the scene, but also what the medical examiner is able to determine at autopsy. And she said she'd been at both. She was able to confirm the amount of blood in Xana's room was consistent with the injuries that she saw on the scene. So, Phil, I'm going to ask you something that is more about the killer's MO, because is alleged to have staked out that home, been there many times. His phone had been there at the late night hours many times. And so one would only reason that he would stake it out that night as well, and that he would know that Xana and Ethan had come home and were there together, as opposed to being surprised by that.
Well, I think that's the great unknown here. So we don't know if he was there staking it out and what that time frame was.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television.
So yeah, what exactly did happen? Now, we have talked about this before. Trigger warning. I want to give you guys another trigger warning about what we're about to talk about. So it's gruesome, but if a throat was cut, A, victims could not scream. Couldn't scream. And B, they would be unconscious within seconds. Are we allowed to chat this time? What do you mean, are you allowed to chat this time? Of course you're allowed to chat. What does that mean? So, literally within about 3 to 8 seconds, you would be unconscious. You can't speak if your throat is cut. Now, these young kids, in my opinion, still kids, they literally were hunted like prey for months on end. 50, thank you so much for gifting memberships. You really don't know how much that means to me right now. Really, thank you. Thank you, Carla. So, we're going to find out more. And CR, I couldn't agree more. Xana gave her all. And it sounds like that by the way of this reporting. It sounds like, I can't imagine just laying in my bed at night and someone coming at your door with a knife, right? A knife. And, oh, thank you, Nosy. Thank you so much. Thank you. It means a lot. It really does. Thank you. And, with a knife so big, and your boyfriend tries to fight this guy off. And obviously, you know, you're shocked. And, you know, I was thinking about that. Would I scream? Would I scream? And I don't think I would scream, because I would be still trying to process everything that is going on. Just, you know, it's happening so quickly that you really can't process what all is going on. You know, you're still like, oh, there's someone in my house. He has a knife, you know, and it's within seconds. Yeah, exactly. How do you prepare for it? There is no way to prepare yourself by getting shocked that there's a strange human being in your home. They have a knife. He's stabbing your boyfriend, slashing his throat, and he's coming for you within seconds. I mean, you have to remember, all of this took place within 4 deaths within a matter of a few minutes. He was in out of that car, in that house, killed those kids, out of that house, out in the car, down the street, at the stoplights within minutes. You know, this wasn't a long ordeal of torture and all of that. It wasn't that. It was, he went in, he excuse me, he did these atrocious acts. You know, it wasn't all of this screaming and horror like the movies sound. It was very, very quick. And he was out of that house. Let's see what y'all have to say. I got up one night to go to the restroom, and my husband thought someone broke in and thought I was that person. He was coming at me, and I was trying to scream, "It's me," and no sound came out. Wow, always late. Yeah, because you're terrified. You're terrified. The Wanda Life, thank you so much for renewing your membership. I really appreciate it. Members is literally what keeps us going here on YouTube. Like, since the beginning of the year, it's been horrible, to be quite honest with you, the way YouTube is redoing things. And it all means so much to us creators right now. So thank you. I'm not trying to sound mean, but the DM is just odd to me. He passed 3 times on stairs right outside her door. No, he didn't pass 3 times outside her door. He came, well, he would have passed, he came down the stairs, and he would have passed 2 times. 2 times now that we know of, because he started on the 3rd floor. But regardless, in my mind, the survivors are absolute victims, and thank God that they're here. Do we know anyone info on the delivery driver? Do we think Bryan was waiting outside and didn't expect the DoorDash driver? Vicky, great question, and I can't. I don't know, you know, and right now would just be speculating, but truthfully, you know, we just have to wait it out. And this thing, guys, this is going to take at least a year. And I would say it's going to be more like a Lori Vallow wait which is at least 2 years, in my opinion, because this is going to be fought and fought and fought and thrown out and fought and thrown out. I have 3 dogs to buy me some time until I get out my 300 blackout little round in the chamber. Yeah, I mean, protect yourself if you can. I can't wait for the trial so they can get the truth on what really happened. It's so sad that yeah, you're absolutely right, Amanda, and these are real lives. Or the people, yeah, I mean, we can all say, if this happened to me, I would, but we really can't until we have absolutely been in that situation. That, that's why I appreciate people going on like News Nations who's had a similar experience, and they can truly relate, something. Carla, thank you so much for your donation. I can't thank you enough right now. Really, thank you so much. I appreciate it. There was no conversation and no demand made. It was an attack. That's exactly right. I mean, there was it wasn't a, lay down or I'm going to do this. It was, I mean, from the get-go, right? It was from the get-go that this man, Bryan Kohberger, in my opinion at least, within minutes, out the car, in the house, 4 bodies, 4 human lives gone in seconds, more or less. I mean, minutes, really, but I mean, just a path of destruction in no time. Oh, thank you, SoFlo. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Keep our family together. Thank you, 50 Shades. I appreciate you. Can't tell you how much I do. Okie dokie, guys. Yeah, I mean, we all have different opinions, Judy, and that's all they are at this point, is their opinions. We will know more facts as they go on. People can, disagree with me. I mean, I'm just one person, but in my opinion, I don't know if, anything until there's a gag order, so we're not going to learn really anything. Now, this sounds like there's a little bit of a leak, right? Who is doing that? We probably will never know. We'll never know. But DM opened her door 3 times. Yeah, she opened her door 3 times. But oh, is it Celie? Is that how you pronounce it? Thank you so much, honey. I appreciate it. God bless you. Was the stairs carpeted? That's a good question. Were they carpeted? My granny almost shot me because she didn't know I had gone out 10 feet away. Till this day, the terror after the both of us was intense, so close. Oh my God, Chris. Well, first of all, I'm glad Granny didn't do that. And thank God you're okay. That's okay. Autocorrect gets me every time too. It's not a big. My niece spent the night at my house. She was like 6 and looking for the bathroom, but went in my walk-in closet and I almost shot her. Wow. You see, I mean, this is just one chat, and look at all the experiences that, the fear that has been, your experiences that you have been through. So like, I just can't imagine, I mean, when I was in not high school, I was in middle school. I was bullied horrible in school. And one day I was in gym class and I was talking to my girlfriends, right? And I am talking to them, and then I get a tap on my shoulder, and I turn around and I get cocked. I mean, I get the dog crap knocked out of me, really. And I had my glasses, and but it took me like a second to get my bearings straight. You know what I mean? Because I couldn't believe what was happening. I just turned around and I got knocked out. And I, that's the only experience that I can ever think of. Like, it took me like seconds to get up, and I just threw my glasses right in his freaking face. And then I went after him. He did pass 3 times, one going from sliding door, once entering back down the stairs, then leaving BK. So he came in from the 3rd floor. Now, according to News Nation, he came in from the 3rd floor, killed the girls up on the 3rd floor, went downstairs, went to Xana and Ethan's room, and then went out. So it'd technically be 2 times, wouldn't it? Can't wait for the trial, hoping it will be televised. I hope it will be televised too. And I hope that they settle nothing more on than the death penalty. Thank you, CR. Thank you so much, honey. I really do appreciate it. Means a lot. Thank you. I see you. It's already demonetized. it's just the way. Thank you though. Justin, do you think Xan and Ethan would have been spared if they were asleep instead of getting up and getting DoorDash at the time? Good question. I don't think Xana and Ethan were the target necessarily. No, I mean, I wonder, is it possible that he was actually, I mean, was he attacking the girls when Ethan and them went to get their food? Was he already attacking them? You know what I mean? And then they came back, and I mean, I don't know. I had a bad dream. Nazi was chasing me, and I was knee deep in snow with kids all around me. I turned and pushed the nail head first backward into a big pile of animal poop. I woke up laughing. It's better to wake up laughing than wake up scared. I hate waking up scared. Oh, Jacqueline, thank you for becoming a new family member. Welcome. Everyone say hello to your new sister, Jacqueline. Say hello to your brothers and sisters, Jacqueline. Thank you so much for joining the family. We appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you. Do you know who the DoorDasher was? Yes. He already talked to police authorities. This is a horrible situation happened, and I am still shocked about it all. Fabrice, this one is going to go down in the history books. Such a young, vibrant group of kids, and such, and someone who is teaching school 10 minutes away in crime, criminal investigations, and who's been taught all of these things, and he did it, allegedly. He did it. Like, how do you begin to wrap your mind around something like that? So this, and if Bryan Kohberger did this, and in my opinion, I truly believe he did, this man is going to be studied for a long, long time. And another thing, the route that he took home, I've been thinking a lot about that. Why did he decide to go south first? And his dad didn't think anything about it. I mean, like, did it, I'm like, did Bryan say that he wanted, to go see like something on his way? So, I'm going to go ahead and head south. Did he do it to try to get the trail off of him, to divert? What was it? Hopefully we'll find out. But, right now we're just not going to know. Hey, Cynthia, good to see you, my love. Thank you. I had a home invasion of 2 men and called for help back in the day, having to find a landline phone. Wow, Southern Belle, I'm so glad you are okay. I think I would absolutely scream for help, especially knowing there was at least 4 other people in the house that could have, potentially, I don't know. I don't know if I would, though. And to be honest with you, if you did scream, you wouldn't have screamed. You may have screamed the second before he came to you and cut you, right? But it's not going to last long, because you're going to literally be unconscious within seconds. And instantly, when they cut you, particularly, your throat, you can't scream. There is no screaming. So thank you, CR. I appreciate you. God bless you so much. I really do. Thank you. Yeah, tomorrow is Summer's birthday. I was thinking today was the 4th this morning, but it is tomorrow. I did spell donkey. This worries me. This can happen to anyone. I'm to the point getting my pew pew out and setting them in different location of my house. Yeah, I mean, it's, you have a right to defend yourself, particularly in your home. Absolutely. It happened so fast. They didn't have time. I agree, Amanda. I mean, I can't imagine anyone, like, I don't know. Like, I would freeze, because you have to kind of take it all in, and you don't have time to take it all in, right? And you just have time to, like, once they start, is just fending off. And I hope that they put up a hell of a fight. It appears that Xana did, for sure. No carpet on the stairs. Thank you so much, Southern Belle. So Southern Belle says there's no carpet on the stairs. Hey, Jacqueline, good to see you. So BK didn't see Dylan because of all the visual snow, correct? He's seen something. Her doorway sets back as well, and it sets back quite a bit. And if you're in a hurry, like downstairs, like, you're focused on what's in front of you, not really, he's so hyper focused, and he's probably so rageful and adrenaline filled that he's just focused. I mean, a killing machine within like a couple minutes. a couple minutes. I have a feeling that the defense were going to use visual snow at the trial. I have a feeling that they are going to use whatever the hell they can use, in my opinion. And to be honest with you, Bryan Kohberger, his attorney, and with Xana, the attorney also representing Xana's mom, and this wasn't disclosed. I hope, in my opinion, that this was just an overlook, but I don't see how she doesn't realize, oh, I did represent Xana's mother, and yeah, I do have, like, rights. So it's insane. I think I have a video on that. We can look on that as well. I don't think there was any carpets unless they had maybe area rugs or something like that. Yeah, I'm a little bit behind in chat. I would think there had been a lot of bumpy noises, and especially Ethan was awake. Kind of hard to fathom how the other two girls could hear voices, but no rambling bumping. Um, I hear you 100% proven. You know, I mean, Dylan said she heard what she thought was, you know, one of the girls upstairs playing with the dog. Now, we've seen the dog in what was his name's video? I can't think of his name right now. His video, and he was running around Adam. We've seen the dog running around in Adam's apartment, and he was, he's a big dog, and he's running around doing his little zoomies and all that. And I would think that that would have probably been a normal thing for Kylie to be playing with the dog like that, up and down, and doing the zoomies. So I don't know. I was chased by a man and couldn't run anymore. That turned around screaming, him swinging my purse, yelling at him, I have babies. You are not going to hurt me. I was shocked that I did that. Wow, Melissa. Well, I'm glad you're okay, first of all. But I mean, that's the thing. None of us know what we are going to do when something like that happens. And just like Melissa said, she was surprised about what she did. Now, we think we might know what we would do, and we may indeed do what we think we would do. But also, if we've never been in a situation like that, and hopefully none of us ever are, I don't know if it's fair to judge, in my opinion, until we know more. That's all I'm saying. Jesus Christ wants to save you, but you must repent. Stop playing games with God. Amen, lion and lamb. Okay. I'm sorry that happened to you. Thank you, dear. Yeah, Mama Llama. None of us gets out in life without being bullied. Sadly, on YouTube, that still happens, even as adult bullies, right? So it is what it is. Thank you, my love. Appreciate you. Just curious, would you take the DP off the table to know the motive? What's the DP? I'm really bad with I am horrible with names and I am horrible with abbreviations. So um the person that hit our Justin. Oh, thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Jacqueline. Appreciate you, my dear. Coming the member again. Thank you. You had to renew. Well, thank you for renewing. That means a lot. Oh, thank you, Kaz. Good to see you so much. I believe Maddie and Xana, Kaylee were the targets. Kaylee wasn't supposed to be there either, allegedly. Now, you can look at that two ways, Shannon. You can look at that as, maybe Kaylee put something on, they were extraordinarily popular on Instagram, social media, all of that. So you can think of it two ways. It could be the way you're talking about, or it could also be, he's kind of been stalking them, and then he knows that Kaylee is coming back for just a night or whatever. She's going out of town. I'm sure she put it on social media that she's going to be moving soon, or, a new phase of life, or the next chapter or whatever. And hey, hanging out with my girl for tonight, going to spend the night with her, whatever. And then knowing that she's there, that was the night. It was now or never, right? Or it could have been just a coincidence as well. Again, hopefully, when trial starts, we'll know more about his motives. What makes this man tick? What is he a bona fide incel, or what's going on more upstairs? 403 or 404. Thank you. What about the locks on their door? Juju, so I showed a picture of scratch that. Kaylee's door. She was selling like a mattress or free or something like that. And in a photo, you can see there is, in the side of the door, you can see the doorknob, and it is just a regular door. And to be honest with you, maybe they didn't lock their doors. Maybe they didn't even shut their doors at night. Maybe they only did that when there was parties or when they were leaving. Maybe at night it was just more of an open flow, an open house kind of thing. But in my opinion, I don't think that there were either locks on all of these doors like they were saying. There definitely once was, but I don't think they were on all of them by far, in my opinion. The timeline is so close, it's kind of hard to actually know what was going on when. That's the thing, it is such a very small time frame that all of this happened, and you have to think it's so short, and the lives are gone forever in just that small amount of time. 4 families, our lives are changed forever. The culture of that, town, of, the school, it's changed forever because of these murders. That house, if it still stands, they still continue to rent it out, which I think that they should just scratch it, get rid of it, tear it down. But that area, regardless, whether they rebuild or they tear it down or they rent it again, it's going to forever be known as the Idaho 4, sadly. that little area is changed forever. And it's because of one twisted, sick individual. Fun says, hello, all lovely people. I'm here, but listening. I'll be driving. It's almost -50 here with the wind chill right now. Holy Jesus, Lord, hallelujah. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. It's not negative almost 50 here. It's very cold, but it's not that cold. So thank you. I am so sorry. I hope the sun shines for you today, sister. Deanna, I actually agree with you. I think that there should be a different attorney as well. I think you had Xana's mother, who, to be honest with you, my heart literally breaks for Xana's mother. Listen, she has done some not good things. I get it. I get it. But they also threw her in jail after her daughter died. Like, couldn't they have like gave her some rehab time, or done this at a different time? She's going through addiction, and her daughter died, and she's got lawsuits already. Give the woman a break. And then your attorney goes and defends your daughter's alleged killer. Your daughter's alleged killer. Think about it. There's no way to wrap your mind around that. Sober or not sober. So, in my opinion, she should step down from Bryan Kohberger. Now, this is a high profile case, right? And most attorneys would, as sad as it is, most defense attorneys would love to get their name out, as more high profile, it raises your status. But it's a total conflict of interest. So you're awesome, Febreze. With DoorDash, you can, as a dasher, it will show you if the order is a gift. It will give the receipt's name and the sender's name, the restaurant tag. Yeah, Hello Kitty. I personally don't think that it was a gift. I think that Xana most likely and Ethan ordered food. They had a night, chilling out, drank a little bit, and maybe went to the football game or did the stuff at the sorority, frat house, whatever, and came back, and they just wanted something to eat. But it could have been a gift, I guess you could say. I don't know. I think it should make and get, and it's absolutely, Deanna. I mean, I couldn't agree more. I mean, something is terribly off. No cameras on that route or less traffic. I mean, they have Bryan Kohberger on. I mean, he went like when he was leaving the place, he went way, 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 way out of his way. And that's another thing. I don't think that they will ever find this knife. I don't think that this will be one thing in trial that they will ever find. Now, from what I understand, it was an expensive knife, but and you think of these killers, they always want to take something with them as a trophy, right? As a trophy. And did he take anything with him? Maybe. Now, if they find something of one of the girls in Bryan's apartment, oh, buddy, you really messed up. Like, he could have been in that house prior to them ever knowing. He could have been at a party there before. There were so many people at those parties, and the police would knock on the door and they would say, who lives here? And they would be like, I don't know, I think it's some girls. They're kids, they're partying and stuff. So did Bryan ever go there during a big party or whatever? I don't know. Now, the affidavit says that they've been there. He has been in, connecting with their Wi-Fi and everything at least 10 other times since, what was it, August? So I think that the defense is going to say, oh, well, he's been in that house. He knew such and such or whatever, maybe, who knows what they'll end up saying, but they're going to try to make it sound like he's not as crazy as he really is. So he said because of the weather, he drove that route. My foot. Why would you drive like literally an hour out of, an hour out of the way when you could be there literally at your apartment in 10 minutes? And this is another thing. Why did the man, like the gas stations and stuff, he wouldn't go to the gas stations around his apartment and stuff. He would go all the way back to Moscow. And you think, well, did he go to those gas stations and then, end up going over to, 1122? Maybe. I think this man was literally obsessed. Was he obsessed with one of the girls? Was he obsessed with wanting to just get away with a perfect crime? I don't know. A lot of people thinks that he left the knife sheath there on purpose. I personally don't buy it that he left it there on purpose. But I do think the defense is going to spin it somehow. He looks so similar to Ted Bundy, maybe saw it too, and he tried. Southern Belle, it is uncanny how similar he does look to Ted Bundy. It's eerie. It's almost like Ted Bundy reincarnated. You know what I mean? It's just the evilness and the look of him. And the thing about Bryan Kohberger, his eyes give me the willies. Whoa, the willies, I'm telling you. It's like, he's got this really dark hair and he's got big green eyes, and they just look to me, and and trust me, you guys know I don't do conspiracies. I don't do any like woo stuff or anything like that. He looks reptilian to me. Like his eyes. He looks like an iguana or something, his eyes. I don't know. But it freaks me out. Do you believe the mother from WSU that came out and said her story? Some of the stuff she said made me wonder if someone else is involved. Pebbles, I personally do not believe that woman. I don't. She has been around, in my opinion, to too many channels. Maybe something she's saying could be, but I'm not a big believer so much in what she said. Now, I may be wrong. I could definitely be wrong. Um, but nonetheless, Olivia, she put out uh, a story, and she has every right to put out a story of someone's what they think happened. So if the neighbor camera picked up the audio, you would think anyone in the house would have heard the scream. Potentially, yeah. I understand. And this is another thing, Boo. Like, how long do you think the scream could have been? You know, the thing I'm thinking about is maybe. So what I think happened is after the girls upstairs were murdered brutally, he came downstairs, and then I think uh what's her name? Dylan stuck her head out, and then Ethan maybe stuck his head out, and they heard something. They're kind of, and then maybe Dylan, they put her head back in or whatever, and then Bryan like comes to the door, and then that's where Ethan meets Bryan, and Bryan would allegedly start, stabbing Ethan right there. And then as Xana is seeing this happen in front of her eyes, that is when the scream happened. That's personally when I think the scream happened. That's when she had more time to scream, is when this is happening right in front of her, and this is her boyfriend, and seeing your boyfriend, this happening to your boyfriend, and then knowing that this monster is coming after you next. That is when the scream happened, in my opinion. Now, that's just my opinion. That is not a factual thing whatsoever, but that's the way it kind of plays out in my mind, and that is what makes the most logic for me. But again, we don't know the facts until it all comes out in trial. But I think that is, and I think when Xana screamed, when she was screaming like that, that is when Bryan got spooked. Got spooked. Holy shit. She just screamed, even though she's dead now after all that happened. And she put up a big fight. That is when he got spooked. And that is when he ran out of there. Because, he may have thought the other roommates heard. They've called 911 already. I'm getting the F out of here. It was too much of a gamble for him. Or otherwise, I do not think that Dylan and the other roommate would, is it Lindsay? Is that her name? Lindsay? Maybe completely off. I don't remember. Dylan, I think that is the exact reason why they're not deceased, in my opinion. Everything tells me that she screamed that there was something to be heard. I think it spooked him, completely spooked him out. And I think you meant Justin at Ride On. What did she listen, Ride on Josephine. I have been called Jason my entire life. I don't take offense to it. I've been called Jason, Justin, Jackass, a lot of different things, right? Can you do a poll of us? How many has been through a form of break-in or attack? Curious of how many have. I can do that on. I'll do that on my my community page. Sorry, my mind slips, guys. I have so much stuff in my mind all the time that it literally just like goes blank. My daughter, while a juror in college, by a junior rather, in college, was renting a home, and 4 guys broke in and said she froze in shock, and luckily her went right after them, and they turned and ran out the door. Labrati? What's the Labrati? Is that like a dog? I have 2 times in my life where I failed at a flight or fight or freeze. I froze initially both times, and then it resulted to flight because I chose not to fight, too scared. So, I mean, you understand, Stillwaters. You get it. And wouldn't you agree that you probably didn't, you thought you would have done something different in that situation? I don't know. Yes, guys, make sure your gift setting is on, because we have so many generous human beings in our community, particularly on my channel, and they gift memberships all the time, and I can't think of enough. And make sure it's your gift setting is turned on. That way you can be eligible. And from what I have been told, it is picked at random, but I've also heard that it's how much you participate in the chat as well. Being in a rage and also having high blood pressure makes the visual snow worse. Interesting. Do you think Xana's mom, the leak, she knew the injuries? That, Pink Butterfly, that's a really interesting, very interesting thing you just said. I have, hold on. Let me play this real quick. I need to find something with, oh my goodness. Right on, Josephine. Thank you so much. And Sylvia, thank you guys so much. Like, I really appreciate it. I really do. Right now, I want to show you guys this video. It's real quick. It's by the New York Post. It says creepy loner. 3 University of Idaho Students said they saw Bryan Kohberger creeping around campus in the weeks before the brutal slayings. So he's been spotted. He's been spotted. And this is the thing. You know, I was thinking about the location of where Bryan Kohberger chose. And it's interesting how you remember in the beginning they said the police said they didn't know if it was the location was chosen or the people inside was chosen. And that was just an interesting comment and statement, in my opinion. And because you think about it, it is this home that young people are in, right? It is a very different, unique style home. Very interesting styled home. And it's on a dead-end road, which makes it a little kind of more dangerous, but there is a perfect driveway behind it. And it sits up a little bit. And there is big sliding glass doors. Sliding glass doors. And that person could sit there comfortably in their car and just stare. It's like the perfect stalking place, apartment, house, whatever it is. And, you know, I imagine Bryan going around and, looking out at all of these houses, apartments, and all of that. And I also think he may have gotten inspiration from other serial killers, other incels. One of the incels, I can't even think of his name right now because my mind's spinning, but the chat will tell me. The very popular incel, he's on the end of my tongue. Can't think of him, but he wanted to go to a university because all the pretty girls were there and he was angry at them. He tried to get in to that fraternity, but he wasn't able to get in. But nonetheless, he still murdered people from the outside of that fraternity. Elliot Rodger, that's his name, Elliot Rodger. And Elliot Rodger, he despised women, and he would literally go around town, around his city. He would be sitting at the beach, right? And he would see a loving young couple, and he would be posting on YouTube, and he would get so enraged, look at that loser that she's with. He'll never amount to nothing. And, she could be with a nice guy like me and all that. And maybe, it could have been something very similar to that. When I did DoorDash in St. Louis, it would want me to send me over to the state of Illinois. I never took it. And that's interesting. That's interesting. You would think, because, I guess you lived on the, the border there. I live on the border of West Virginia and Virginia, right? So you would think that it would keep it in one state. I should ask some DoorDash drivers here if it makes you go to Virginia and West Virginia. Running may have actually saved you rather than fighting. Well, the fight or flight is the reason why, it is built into us, inherently built into us. And it is for life-saving measurements, and you'll do both at different times. Sometimes you'll run, sometimes you have to fight, and it depends on the situation. I have visual snow. He had it for a long time, and you get used to it. But in dark, your perpetual vision sucks, and he was aiming for any light source. She also represented Maddie's dad and stepmom. I think I heard that, Tony, now that you say that. I had something on them. Is it? Oh, here, I actually have it here. So Xana's mom just got in trouble again in the last couple days. And I was going to talk about this. I was going to make a video about it, but we'll just talk about it now. I mean, look at her. Look at the poor soul. Look at her. And I feel horrible for her. I mean, she literally looks like she could be Xana's grandmother. And she is not much older than Xana, to be honest with you. She had her at a very young age, right? And look at her. Like, if someone doesn't get this woman help, they're going to be burying her too very soon. Help that, like, please help this woman. Someone. Moscow, please. Like, I get it. I get it. You can only help if she wants help. I understand that. But God, I mean, even if she's in just like a rehab for a minute and then put her in jail so she'll be clean and she'll be healthy, but get her some addiction help. There's no shame in it, and get her some coping skills. That's what she needs. When a man tried to break in my house, I ran and got the gun. I was so scared and shaking. My husband was on the phone and told me to put down the gun so I didn't shoot myself. Yeah. Oh my God, Fluffy. I'm glad you're okay. She did, Jonathan. My heart goes out to anyone who's fighting addiction, who's struggling with addiction. And now her daughter's dead, and to add insult to injury, your attorney who has what is it, rights? I forget what kind of rights. I forget what kind it is. But anyway, she is representing the killer, alleged killer, of your daughter and her friends. No. Are we afraid that with the supposed foot traffic from the other students, could they throw the case out contaminated? I think that they have what they need, Judy, to be quite honest with you. I do think they have what they need, but I think they might argue it. They may argue it. They're going to, the defense is going to try anything that they can possibly try, right? Many aren't realizing that Ann Taylor is one of three. That is true, Boo. That is true. It's a small town. I get that. But if there's three, there's two others. You know what I mean? Like, I understand it's a small town, but regardless, it is a conflict of interest, no matter if there's one, in my opinion, at least. filled with rage, the rage of a demon, the strength of one as well. Yeah. I think of Bryan as this anger and rage that has built up over his psyche over so many years just exploded that night. Just literally exploded. I agree, my love. I agree. What if God is an avid chess player? He'll have no one to play with anymore. Jonathan. I was chased by a man when I was 12. I never ran so fast so long in my life. Yeah. I mean, pink butterfly, that's the thing. Whenever you're put up against something, this goes emotionally as well as physically. But you see the mothers who are scared. There's a car on their kid's, foot or something, and they'll lift the side of a car up. You don't know what you have until you need it, right? Exactly. You turn into a completely different person. I would never lay my hand on my husband, and he'd never lay his hand on me, but the situation, you never know. Absolutely. A guy was trying to beat on me and would not leave me alone. I could not shoot him, but I dropped the clip in my pow pow and knocked him upside the head with it. After that, I walked out. See, Jesse? You turned it into, you made lemonade with your lemons, right? That's what you did. What if he was stabbed in the neck and ran into Xana? What if he was stabbed in the neck and ran into Xana? I mean, he stabbed it and then he ran towards Xana. Is that what you meant? Death penalty, absolutely. In my opinion, and when it came to not Maddie, Kaylee, Kylie, when it comes to her parents, they said, thank God Idaho has the death penalty and we wouldn't accept nothing less. And I don't blame him. Don't give him a plea deal. He took out 4 lives that meant so much to so many people. And they had a lot of things still to do. They didn't even start life. They were cheated because of that asshat who still has breath in his lungs, even though he's sitting in a jail cell right now. And he'll most likely never get out, hopefully. But he's never, he's going to have air in his lungs. He's still able to eat. He's still able to call his mother, his father, his sister. He's still able to watch TV. All of that stuff. They don't get that. They just have a memory, a photo, a video. And they have the memory of getting that call, of saying something's happened. The worst news any parent, the worst thing that could happen to you in life, 4 parents experienced. 4 sets of, 4 different parents, 4 different families of parents experienced. I'm still bullied now because I have autism. Think explain a bit of different. Juju, you do you, honey, and don't ever let anyone say anything to you to make you feel less, to make you are who God exactly wants you to be. And whether you explain things differently or not, it's who you are, and rock it out. My mind goes blank a lot of times because my head is filled with stuff, and it's also anxiety at times. And I still do my best. And I'm not always perfect, but I do my best. And people can judge me up and down. I send them love. I was just chased by a kid when I was 10 years old. I screamed so loud, my mom ran out and stopped him. Then law came. Never knew what happened. Never forgot it in my whole life. Pat, I'm sure that scarred you tremendously. How could it not? Well, I'm glad you're okay. Yeah, he might have seen that Kaylee was backing down. I mean, that's, Jonathan, that's a thought of mine that I lean more toward, but, it could be just, it was the night. Something, was in him that night for him. I personally think that Bryan started to do this at least one or two other times. And I think that night whatever mood he was in, or whether Kaylee was, because Kaylee was there, or, we don't really know what it is, but there was a reason in his mind that night that it happened. The dad said his girls were nice girls, not bullies. Absolutely, Jacqueline. Absolutely. Yes, I see you. We have a very, very classy chat. And we have great mods and great people here. And I thank you all. Their lives and any offspring generation stolen. Absolutely. They don't get, it pisses me off that, these girls didn't get to walk across the stage and graduate, right? And Bryan Kohberger got to walk across the stage and get that diploma in his hand. And I hope that these schools void them. They have to, in my opinion. Like, rescind them, take them away, shun him from any part of humanity, erase him. So I'm behind in chat. I'm sorry. It's cold hell in Ohio. Yeah. They could help her to get help. Yeah, I pray that they get Xana's mom help. I mean, look at this poor woman. Look at her. Her name's Kara Kernodle. She is known as Kara Northington, is in the Spokane County Jail in Washington. She was booked on charge of first-degree criminal trespassing on Tuesday, and her bond was set at $250. Details about what prompted Kernodle's arrest were not immediately clear, but records indicate it took place in Airway Heights, a city west of Spokane. Colonel's daughter, Xana, 20 years old, and 3 others, Kaylee, Madison, and Ethan, were found dead in the rental home in Moscow, Idaho on November 13th. Obviously by this asshat. So, just a very, very sad situation. And it wasn't just the daughter died, it was the fact that the story is a national-wide story and so gruesome. Shame on them. I agree. So, yeah. Attorney knows how bad Xana's mom is, otherwise she wouldn't have had a POA over her. Yeah. You know, she's a troubled soul. She is very troubled. And first of all, I just want you to think about Xana, how even though her mom was a troubled soul, she dug her feet in the ground and said, I am choosing differently, and I'm going to go to school, go to college, rock this degree, and live the best life I can. And that is a enormous accomplishment, because truthfully, we usually end up very similar to as our parents, right? It's a learned behavior, and Xana took the path to fight against all odds, and God bless her for it. So, I hate being an adult. It's hard sometimes, isn't it? It's really hard. Thank you, Josephine. Appreciate you, my love. Oh, thank you, girly Texan. I appreciate it. The look of BK's face is so cold and unbothered. Yes, and the first time he got the first time he got out of that van and he looked to the cameras, that photo right there, I'm like, ugh, creepo, El Creeperton. Yeah, he looks through you. Yeah, I mean, his eyes look reptilian. And I sound like I'm a Scientologist right now, or something. But they really do. They look like, I don't know. He's just got a very strange look. Like, even if I saw him and didn't know this about him, I would be like, he looks a little odd. Maybe I should stay away. One of those kind of things. Maybe I should go home with him. Kind of thing. Let's see what else we got. Rottweiler, okay. I've blacked out in a flight or flights. Live Silkies, listen, it is very possible some people just pass out. There's live, you just literally pass out rather than fight or flight. It's like fight, flight, or pass out. Those. Have you guys ever seen a fainting goat? They have like this genetic something where when they get scared or even excited, their nervous system shuts down and they just go. Poor things. Thank you, right on, Josephine. Means a lot. I really do appreciate it. Sylvia, thank you so much. It means a lot. Thank you. Let's see here. Gene, please some YouTuber tell me, WTF good is all this speculation, guessing, possibly nothing yours have done has helped uncover one single clue in catching Bryan. The police as real detectives did. Hello, Moto. 1 second, sorry. I love to take these type of questions. Gene, first of all, calm down. You're in your feelings. Chill, please. Take a deep breath, in and out, in and out. I never said I did anything to solve this case. I don't solve cases. I'm not a cop. I'm not a detective. I'm a web sleuth. That's all I am. I bring information and stories to people. That's it. Are you calm now? Are you okay, Gene? Please let me know in the comments below. Thank you, Gene. Thank you for your understanding. So that's all. I know that they're deleted by the time I see them, but that's it. So, and Gene, by the way, the families have thanked us for keeping this story out. That's all I do, Gene. So I'm going to use my calm voice, my Ben Stein voice for dry, red eyes. Use clear eyes because your eyes are bloodshot right now, Gene, and you probably have high blood pressure. It's time to calm down. Calm down, please, Gene. Calm. Get you some clear eyes and calm down. Thank you. Thank you, Cammy. Thank you, my love. Smack my freaking head. I love you. Just thank you. Listen, I don't know. I just don't get upset with these people. I just don't. I don't know. They're like they don't know me. They're just coming into most. I mean, like Marissa and all of them. They'll be like, rah, rah, that's not who I. That's not who I am. But Flo, you're calm, honey. Oh my God. Yes, we have a good conversation. Appreciate it, guys. So, you do a heat, Molly. Well, I hope you have red eyes later, Justin. Don't wish red eyes on for dry red eyes, dry clear eyes. You set a great tone here, Justin. Thank you. Thank you, Heather. I appreciate it. Thank you. I mean, that's a thank you. 100% proven. I appreciate it. There's no sense in getting upset. Why let a person's, they're not mad at me. They're not mad at anything. They're just mad. They're just mad at something else in their life, and they may not even know what they're mad about at the time. Calm down, Gene. You just got yeah, Ben Stein has the ultimate calm voice.
Hello, Moto.
So, all right, guys. Well, listen, I'm going to be back later this evening about 6 o'clock. I will be here this evening. I'm going to set the alarm. We are going to be talking about Summer Wells. And to be quite honest with you, I probably will not be as calm about that one. I'm just going to say, because it's been a long time coming. And this is when, you know, the thing that does like get me going is someone hurting a kid, an animal, or an elderly person, or someone who is mentally, physically disabled. Like, really, like, pick on someone your own size. You know what I mean? Don't pick on vulnerable. And Dawn Wells, shame on you. You love spicy, Justin. Well, I might be a little spicy tonight. I'm going to tell you that, because that one last night got me going. Now that did get me going, and I'm gonna get on that one. I'm gonna tell you that. So, guys, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, please. That's all I ask. Camille, thank you, my love. I love you so much. Guys, thank you so much for becoming members. Thank you for gifting memberships. Thank you for supporting me. I appreciate it. It has been a rough couple weeks for me, to be quite honest with you, but we're still going to smile. We're still going to live life, and the world still turns, and the sun still burns. So we're here. God bless you all. I'll see you guys 5, 6 o'clock this evening, probably closer to 6, maybe 7 even, but I will be here this evening. We're going to talk about the Summer Wells case, particularly Dawn and Candace Wells. Tomorrow's Summer's birthday, so we need to get some stuff off our chest. Love you all. Thank you. God bless you. We'll see you later.